Let's go. Let's get back into real flight. Let's get behind those sticks and get something fun done today. Today, we're going to have a few topics that we're going to talk about. One, which is pretty important, especially if you're a YouTuber or just in general, somebody who is making content and putting it online, whether you're YouTuber or not, doesn't really matter. If you're just somebody who's doing that, you will fall into a lot of crazy situations anyway. So let's get this up and started. Where we go? Okay, cool. Let's go. So we are running Real Flight Evolution here, and we're continuing on to see if we can pass more levels. Good stuff like that. Was air race. I can't remember which one I was working on yesterday. I think we've done all of air race, except for the very last one, which was like 10 gates. I think 10 gates is just really difficult to achieve. So we were kind of like failing. We were kind of like failing like towards the end. Couple gates. Anyway. Let's try this out. Anyway. Oy. It was a great morning today. Went out, shot a few videos at the lake. It was fun. Dropped my Red Cat Racing in the lake. But we discovered something cool about it that nobody else is going to be able to tell you, because nobody is stupid enough to drop their Red Cat Racing crawler in the lake like I did, so they would never know. It floats, which is why it survived. I had no idea that it would float, so it's very interesting that happened, but it did, so that's cool. I'm very glad that it did happen, because now we know that it works. But again, the other issue is that now this is going to happen. It's normal if it does happen. Is that whatchamacallit? The electronics are probably fried. The electronics of that cool little Red Cat Racing truck are now fried, which is why I can no longer turn it on. Now it's a possibility, because it's water resistant, not waterproof, which is something that people need to know. So maybe it will come back to life later on. We'll try it and we'll see. But just so you guys know, Red Cat Racing is not designed to do that, and it was a complete accident that it fell in. So anyway, fun stuff. Anyway, let's talk about mental health, because mental health is a big concern these days. Like back in the day, people believed in a lot more stuff. They believed in religion a lot more, so they had places where they could vent, whether it was there or they believed enough in the they could go to the shrink's office or something. People had more places they could go to vent and figure things out. But these days, people don't care about religion much, so they probably won't go to the priests. They heard some bad stories about what could happen if you did speak to a shrink, so they might not take that option either. And so we have a generation of people, especially like millennials and stuff, and some of the newer generations, who just really don't know who to turn to. So what they do is they go online, and they think that online is going to solve all the problems. But more often than not, we know with social medias, if you've seen some of Eli the Computer Guy's videos, that sometimes that's really not enough. So sometimes people will go off and believe stuff that isn't real, like flat, like the Earth is flat and stuff like that. But the problem with the brain is that it is a beautiful thing that can, if used correctly, can do so many amazing things, like play instruments, design cool machines, produce beautiful artwork like 3D models and stuff that you can 3D print. All kinds of amazing things can come out of the brain. But the brain is also fickle. It's very fickle in the sense that, when things are not right, if you are already like suffering from some other condition and your mind is not clear, you can start thinking and believing stuff that makes no sense. For instance, the other day I was just going nuts trying to find some RC tires for one of my RC cars, and all kinds of things go into your mind, and you're thinking, well, I left it over there and must be there because that's where I left it. But your mind will play tricks on you, and eventually it's not there. So then you start wandering off, and you start thinking, well, how many people actually go through this particular area? So maybe it was one of them that came over, and they accidentally, for whatever reason, decided to move them, which again, it's really, really unlikely. So, but anyway, the mind will play tricks on you and stuff like that. Or I remember there was one time I think I had to had to go in front of the class, and I just did my whole presentation or whatever it was, super shaky because I hate doing public speaking and stuff. So I went and I did all that, and then at the end of the whole thing, I thought, or I discovered that my fly was open. So then, being OCD and like super self-conscious, for the rest of the week I kept wondering how many people noticed that my fly was open throughout the whole presentation, stuff like that. Anyway, so the brain can do all kinds of ridiculous things to you. And imagine if that kind of thing happened to you, for instance, at an office instead of at a school. How would that change? Real Flight is crapping out again. So I don't know if every time you turn it off, you need to go back into the Real Flight settings and remember to turn off a bunch of things like we did yesterday or whatever it is. But it is totally crapping out right now. So there shouldn't be anything taking up resources other than Real Flight at the current time. So I'm not sure what that is all about, but this is the second day now that this has been happening, going on, which is a real pain in the butt. Oh, buddy. So anyway, so the brain can play amazing tricks on us, and unfortunately those tricks are not cool. But one thing that we can do, let's say if we are suffering for whatever reason, whether we have back pain, knee pain, joint pain, suffering from cancer or whatever it is that we may be going through, is sometimes we need to get away from the people that we know and go to some safe place, right? If you don't want to talk to a shrink, you don't want to talk to a priest, you could go to a place like an internet cafe, somewhere that's safe, lots of people there, coffee house or something, and talk to somebody about some of the things that you may be experiencing, some of your delusions that you may be experiencing, and see what they think. Because one of the problems with having struggles and being in pain and stuff is that sometimes the people that are around you, like your friends, your family, are going to be having their bedside manner around you, because they don't want to further inflict pain on you should they say the wrong thing. So because you have a condition, they're going to be walking around you like on eggshells or whatever. And sometimes what you need is perspective. So you go out there and you talk to somebody who is not aware of your situation, and then you talk about your problem to them, and then you realize that you have no idea what you're talking about, which I've done a few times, and it has helped in the past. But it is something that you can do if you are going absolutely nuts over something that you think may be true, but it really obviously isn't. It's all in your mind. So that's one thing that you can do to gain perspective, because sometimes we all need that. Anywho, so there's been situations this happens a lot with celebrities and stuff like that. Doesn't happen to me much because, again, like I explain all the time, YouTuber fame is not a thing. It really isn't. But what is real is hate on YouTube and on other social media platforms. That is really true, because although pretty much nobody knows you in person or even online, when it comes to just having a small channel with like barely any followers, the few people that do know that are haters, oh man, they will pounce on you like you have no idea, coming up with all kinds of interesting stories, such as, oh, well, you got famous because of me, because of the algorithm that I ran in my bots or whatever, and now I expect you to pay me whatever because I used your bots or whatever. We did episodes back a few months on that, so that was crazy. Things that people will say. Quality of graphics highest. Why is it though? Why is it? I want it to be on low. That was why it was crapping out to begin with. I want it to stay the way that I set it. Why did it? So yesterday I did this. We went to the settings and did exactly what we just did right now, and we put it on the lowest settings. And then for some reason it seems to enjoy going back to whatever it was. So let's go into a challenge now and see if we can fly. Okay, let's see what happens. Because that'd be cool. Oh, so yeah, so lots of things can happen this way, which is really, really sad. Is our brain will just go off on a tangent, and suddenly we think that everything that happens around us is a coincidence, and oh yes, and we start creating our own conspiracy theory about stuff, which happens a lot. Like, for instance, for the flat earthers, I'm sure that there's a bunch of them all hanging out together in their special group. And because one person said something, and then, oh, I use this piece of technology to determine that, yes, the earth is flat. And then all of a sudden, because they're in their little bubble of people, right? Same as what happens often in politics, the same thing happens, is, whoa, but my best friend, blah, 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 said this, so it must be true. And then it goes on and on and on. And then suddenly it's like one of those situations where, things escalate and go completely out of control. But really, all you have to do is gain a little perspective, maybe talk to some people who are not in your situation, and then that will clarify that you were just imagining it. Because in the end, no matter how important we think we are, especially some of the celebrities, this obviously can happen to a lot of the celebrities, but also a lot of the celebrity fans can run into this situation where they think they're so important that everything is about them, and they weren't even mentioned. So anyway, things to ponder. And as you can see here, I'm going to show you guys one more time. We're going to do reset. We're going to do a reset. And the thing is completely out, so we're going to do a quick... This happened to me yesterday. It's happening again. The Microsoft machine of doom requires a restart. I don't know why there's another update. It just did an update yesterday. But we are going to give it a restart. And it's always to do this on touch. So it's going to restart. Let's see if it restarts well or not. What are you going to do? Microsoft is doing the thing that it does the best, which is tick me off. We had a good run. We had a few months where this did not happen, and everything was hunky-dory. But remember, guys, it's a good time for a little side adventure. Whatever piece of technology you may have, whether it is this phone or something else, in the modern technology land, it is not like in the old days. You buy the software, it comes with the machine, and then the software is fine. It will last forever unless you decide to ask the company for an upgrade or whatever, because the latest and greatest is out and you want to try it. Generally speaking, it will just run. But in the modern era, everything is a mess. For instance, you know, if your battery inside your computer dies, if the software inside your computer dies, it is not as easy as it used to be to just get in there and get things to run. Not anymore. Like in the old days, you had a phone, you could just take out the battery and then replace the battery if the battery was faulty. Now it's all inside, and it is really difficult to get to the battery if you wanted to. Back in the day, the software was all software that stayed in the machine. You didn't updates unless you wanted to update. Now everything requires updates. Now everything requires you to take it to a certified technician to have it opened, unless you want to learn how to do it yourself, which is really hard. And with iPhones, for instance, or in this case, the Surface, it would be very difficult to do. It's not just a couple of screws, get in there, take the battery out, buy the spare battery that you can get at your local whatever, CVS, Walmart, or whatever that now has those things. Nope, you got to go through all kinds of trouble to be able to get there. So it'd be a pain. It'd be a pain. Let's try this one more time. Let's see. So let's go through another scenario. Let's see if I can fly at all. It'd be nice if I could fly. Let's talk about another possible scenario that you might encounter in your life, where you have people that you just met in the bar or something, or you went to a party. You went to a party. It's worse. You know, we are experiencing all kinds of failure. Still not good. So we're gonna exit this out. We're gonna go back in here. Oh, how much fun is this, guys? I was trying to go with the train of thought, talk about a story, and then this is happening, which is not exactly fun. I thought I just went into the settings and changed it to put the graphics to almost 0. Steam support. For more information, go to the local community. Great. Okay. I am at the local community. Is there an update for this? No. You can find third-party game support contact, further troubleshooting, opting out of current Steam beta, forcing a silently crashed hanging game to close, verifying game cache files. What the heck is that all about? Local files and all that stuff. It's all running the way that it should. So I'm not sure what that was all about. Let's close this out one more time. Let's go to the simulator. Let's go to graphics. We said it's done it again. Oh no, it's not. Now it is on low graphics. So what? So it saved the low graphics setting. Wait. Save the low graphics setting one more time, just because we're paranoid. We're paranoid at this point. Let's go to the graphics again. Heads up display. Language. We're not interested in that. We want to see more graphics start. Hardware. Not a whole lot that we can do apart from vertical sync. I don't know what that does, so we don't care about it. Particles, yes. Scenery, shadows enabled, and all that stuff. It's fine. But we want to go to all the low setting. Low setting. low setting. We don't particularly want to turn anything off because it looks fine as is, but we don't want anything to be in high setting because we've noticed over and over again that that doesn't work. So let's see. Okay, it's pretty good. Now I seem to have some control over it. Let's see if we can do a nice and relaxed turn all the way around and then followed by a landing. Let's try that. Anywho, I was just talking about some things that can happen. Like, for instance, you could go to a celebrity like Michael Jackson or something. Could go to a party, right? Go to a party, and then meet up with some fans. And then the fans were drunk. And then Michael Jackson might say something like, "I love you" to somebody, right? Something as crazy as that. To say, "I love you" because I love you as a fan, not as, I care about you, let's get married or whatever other stuff, right? But then that person is totally, completely drunk, out of their mind. And for instance, what they could do is they might hook up with someone else. And then they might do something with someone else. And then because in their mind, they thought they saw Michael Jackson, they might think that that was the person they had the affair with, or that they had fun with that night. When really all Michael Jackson did was say, "I love you," fans, and maybe not even to them. Maybe it was to a crowd of people. But because they were drunk out of their mind, they thought all of a sudden. So the mind is a fickle thing, is a really fickle thing. So we need to take care of it, number one. And number two, sometimes when we're going through stuff, there are ways that we can sort of try to learn to get ourselves some perspective, because sometimes the things that we're saying and thinking are just bat crap out of this and wild. So anyway, I thought I'd just put that out there because you never know what's going to happen in life, and some people were going to say stuff, and you never, you wouldn't imagine how many times you get weird emails or stuff like that, or comments on the YouTube channel when people who are obviously going through something in their own lives want to project their lives onto your life and believe that they may actually know you or have met you in person, which obviously is absolutely not the case. But anyway, honest mistake, which is why no hard feelings or anything like that. It can happen to anybody, but seriously, man, it is worth it to get some perspective in life. Also, because, as I said before, a lot of times if we're experiencing some serious issues in our lives, like be it mental issues or pain, and we're taking medications or whatever it is, the people around us are not really obviously going to want to tell us the truth, and sometimes they will agree with us whether or not we are correct, just because they're trying to protect our feelings. So sometimes it's better to get some perspective from people who don't know about our condition, and then ask them how bad crap is what we're saying is. Anyway, let's see if we can get a nice landing here. Let's see if we can get a nice landing. Okay. Ooh, a little bit bouncy, but not too bad. Not too bad. We don't have reverse thrust on this thing. Again, this is an awesome Horizon Hobby bird. The I think this is the Habu or Habu. I don't know. Everybody calls it a little bit different. I'm gonna go with Habu. But it is an awesome plane. Now, if it flies just as well in real life, which I probably imagine it would, then I know that I could definitely fly this no problem in real life. If, on the other hand, it has problems with Spectrum batteries like I've experienced, or ESC problems, I can't say exactly who the culprit is at this point, because again, I am not a professional. I do not have a battery checker for that kind of technology. I did mess around with the ESC because I am familiar with similar technology, not the same as Spectrum. I have absolute noob when it comes to Spectrum. This is the first Spectrum battery charger and system that I have ever operated, so I do not know whether this is a common issue or not. I did get a few comments on the channel from people who have experience saying that if you are going to buy yourself an AeroScout or a Habu or anything with that, it is best to buy yourself a battery checker as well, to buy yourself a proper charger. Do not use the one that is provided with the ready-to-fly kits, because apparently that one is not very good and sometimes can give you false positives. But anyway, those are not my words. Those are words that I received in comments on the YouTube channel, which you can go ahead and verify yourselves, which makes it easier. Again, I had no idea about any of this stuff until recently. I'm a complete noob when it comes to Horizon Hobby vehicles, and the only other experiences I did have was the Horizon Hobby Zone AeroScout Mini, which I cannot really recommend because I bought 2 of those and they did not do so well for me, so I cannot really recommend those. The AeroScout, the big one, is what most people are going to be buying as a ready-to-fly kit as a trainer, and it is fantastic, except for, again, not good experience in my book. I did not get a good experience with the Spectrum batteries or the ESC. Something in there is not running. I was able to bring the thing back to life by attaching a separate ESC onto the thing and powering the receiver with that. But that's as far as we've gotten with that. And yeah, let's go to do some challenges. That was pretty fun. It's always worth trying some more landings to see if you can land properly. I obviously have a lot of work to do when it comes to landing because I do landing, but it is very bouncy every time. Whoa, 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 I'm not touching anything. And that just went on. The computer just went on to whatever it did. You guys saw that? My sticks, my thumbs were away from the sticks. And retry. And begin. The remote is away. Look at this. I am not touching the sticks. My thumbs, both my thumbs are here. So I don't know what that is. But you guys are looking. My nothing is touching the sticks. The sticks are here. And look at what's going on the screen. I have no idea how that's happening. But it is. So clearly not a good real flight day for us today, guys. I don't know how this is happening. But, you know. You can never have enough drama in your life, right? But at least this is funny drama. This is funny drama. This is the kind of drama that you can like laugh about to your friends and have a good time. My hands are here. My hands are here. Look. The controller, you guys can see the controller is right here. It is doing. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You just can't make this stuff up. You see? Now, again, like if right now my mental state was completely out of it, I could say that no, this, you know, like this is not happening. This is not happening. But it is, and you're right here live with me. The power of the brain, and the tricks that it can play with you on. Look at this. I just don't know. And it keeps going. Like it's on a perfect, it's going to stop when the clock over here stops. When this reaches 0, it will stop, obviously, but you really can't make this stuff up. Look, the sticks. My thumbs are away from the sticks. The sticks are not on throttle on. We could try a throttle cut, but it's not doing anything. The thing is still jiggling. it is still spiraling out of control. Well, it's not really spiral because it seems to be like a perfect circle around there. So how is this possible, guys? I've never seen anything like this before. We're just gonna let the computer run its clock. We've done everything that we could to make this easier to fly by killing off the all the stuff that would make it harder, like advanced graphics and stuff. We put all the settings down to low on all the graphics settings that I could think of, and it's just doing this. I don't know how it's doing this. So anyway. Okay, it failed. Let's try this again, okay? Let's try this again because I don't know if it's going to happen again. We press the begin button. The control is here. You can see the thumbs. And watch. Okay, this time it did something different. Again, I am not controlling this thing. Let's see if we can control it now. This thing does not have thrust reverse, so we are dead in the water. I'm not seeing ailerons or elevons or boobalons or anything. Googleons. Nothing at all is happening here. I don't know what this is all about. We've checked these. These seem to be quite in the center. All the sticks are where they're supposed to be positioned. This has never happened before, okay? So this is not something that you should expect from Horizon Hobby or anything. But you really can't make this stuff up. Level failed, and I did nothing. I'm going to unplug this. Wait. Plug it in again. Unplug it and plug it in again. Okay. Then we are going to. We're just basically doing a troubleshooting session. I don't know how this. Troubleshooting session. Okay, maybe we're back to normal. Nope. Yes. That was kind of slow in response. Yeah, we're slow in response. The simulator is wild. So we're gonna say select, and we're gonna exit one more time. And we're gonna double check that everything is correct. Graphics are back on high. How Yes, you guys saw it. It's all on the live stream. I did apply multiple times to make sure that this would stay low. Now it's crashed. Okay, you can't make this stuff up, as I said before. This is why I do live streams, and I'm tired of doing all those, sitting in a dark room, doing editing, color correcting, all that stuff. I am done with that because this is just more entertaining. It just is. It's just more entertaining. Let's try this one more time. You guys saw me, I put it on low graphics settings. So we've done all this, blah, 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 blah. Let's go back to the profile. Make a name for yourself. Well, I thought I had a name already set up for this. View my profile. Account details. Your store. What is all that? Maybe it's Steam the dream. I turned off Steam. Let's see if this runs better without Steam. And if it was a Steam engine, then it would fail. But let's see. We turned off Steam. Maybe Steam was the culprit here. the felon or the, oh yeah, look, I turned off Steam. All it takes is to turn off Steam, and now we're flying. No, Steam. We love you, Steam. See, now Steam, because I said we love you, said that, you know, might think that it's in a relationship with me. It knows me for sure. Oh, buddy, the things that you deal with as a human being. But here's the thing: you need to make it so that you don't get upset. Don't get upset, guys. Don't get upset. Things will happen. Things will happen in life. Just keep swimming. Like it's supposed to happen. The way it's supposed to happen. Oh, I'm gonna crash. There we go. Someone in the comments was funny and said, "You gotta start crashing more. People are gonna stop watching the videos, because if you start getting too good and it's all like really good flying, then they're gonna stop watching your videos." So of course I replied, I will try to crash more often, just for the sake of the show. For the sake of the show, we're gonna crash more often. Now, I'm not sure what's going on, because I'm starting to get lag again on the controls. Come on. Yay, that was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed being able to do a few gates in a row without destroying the bird. But we may have to do a loop here and go back the other way. No, destroy the prop. I just finished saying how I finally got a few gates in a row, and then not to destroy the prop, but then that happened. So I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to beat this. This is, oh, okay, we're gone again. So did this thing must have a problem. This thing must have a problem here. Question is, can you hack? Can somebody be hacking this? And the answer is yes. Some people could be hacking this, but that could also be a conspiracy theory. Just something that I say. Let's see. It's still on low, so we're good. What about the other options that I removed yesterday? We went to settings. We went to graphics, but you need to press this thing over here to get to quality. Then we should be able to find everything still on low. Nope. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? This is, I'm pretty sure I pressed OK, which should set things correctly. Let's go up. We have perfect control over the plane. Now let's say that we wanted to get out of safe. No, no. We lost the plane already. Okay. Whoa. Unbelievable. I still have control over the plane. Okay. Whoa. I remember the first time that I did this, where I was trying to fly this plane out of safe, in experienced whatever mode. And not only could I not turn, the only thing I could do is crash. The only thing I could do was crash. You can go back if you don't believe me, because it's hard for people to believe people online. Go back a few episodes and go find the first episode of this series. I don't remember what it is. It's another one of those puzzles. I don't know what it is, but you can go check that out if you have the time and care to do that. You will see that the first time that I tried to go onto AS3X or whatever it was, intermediate or whatever it is, I could not keep this bird in the air at all. And if I can land it at any point today, under these circumstances, whoa, then that is a little bit of a miracle, because I can't believe that I can actually do this now, but I totally could not before. And all of that was due to me not understanding how the controls work on the Spectrum remote. flown all kinds of other things before, but nothing quite has controls and setups the way that Horizon Hobby does. I don't know if that might be part of the reason why there's a feud between Horizon Hobby and Motion RC. Maybe there is a reason for that, but I noticed that it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy to just intuitively understand how to fly, or at least how to move things around on the Motion RC products, but not so much on the Horizon Hobby Spectrum systems. So anyway, let me try this real quick, because at least we are somewhat in the correct situation where we might be able to do this. I've lost control of the plane. I lost control of the plane altogether. I don't know why. I was inverted, destroyed the plane. So we may be experiencing the same thing that I was having before. Maybe the thing has set itself back to the higher settings. Hopefully not. Let's see if I can do a land. No, I lost control of the plane. Let's see if we can do a landing. Landing is what we were trying to accomplish here. We're trying to go up really, really gently, and then come back really, really gently, and then aim it, and then sort of... That was a really bouncy landing, but we've got it. So I never, ever, ever could do this in... Whoa, we've lost control of the plane. So this is still lagging and having issues. So I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what that's about, but let's see if we can do this one more time. That was not really a landing. But yeah, I can kind of do it. It is terrible. It is terrible. So we're gonna go with absolutely terrible landings like this, because I do not really have full control over what I'm doing, and I am still learning. But the fact that I could even do this is incredible, because when I started, I could not do this at all. And the thing that annoys me about these planes is the second you do want to start turning, the nose drops, and you've got to account for that pretty much every time, unless you buy the real thing and you go through some of the cool things that Brian Phillips RC explains on his channel, and then you can change the CG on the thing so that it can fly straight out of the box instead of being nose heavy. So on your turns, if you decide, you see how it just went down, because I didn't press the up elevator while I was doing that. So now I'm kind of used to doing that. So if it's going to turn, I'm going to press up elevator while I turn, and then I'm able to do this so that it doesn't flop and do that or invert. So let's see if you guys can see from the sticks. What I'm trying to do is I will first get the plane off the ground. There we go. Then I will apply some up elevator as I turn, and some rotation as well, in order to get the bird to come down, and then bounce land. Beautiful bounce landing until you smash into the flag over there. But you guys get the idea, right? If you just go up like this and then just make a turn, look how it's starting to drop, and then it crashes into the ground, because I did not adjust for the height elevation system, whatever this thing is called. So we'll do this again. We'll go up in the air. We will turn gently with up elevator, enough to get us out of control and up there. And now we have lost it. But anyway, you get the idea, I hope. There needs to be some up elevator in order for you not to smash it to the ground. It will just naturally want to smash that nose down. Now, if that is something that pilots have discovered is good, because it improves their quality of flight during windy situations or whatever, so having the nose heaviness helps with getting through the wind because you don't want to stall the plane or something. I don't know. The experts will be able to tell you why that is. All I can tell you is it's very frustrating, and as a beginner, you will have to keep getting used to it until you can do it. Again, the amount of things that I've had to learn in life, which I really did not want to learn, but you just have no choice. So just learn it. Just learn it. Just learn how to do it, because if you don't, you'll never be able to fly the planes that you want to fly. And I spent so many hours clocking into this thing because I was hoping that I was going to be able to fly the Aero Scout full on, the big one, the really cool one, the one that everybody talks about being awesome. And right now I can't fly it, not because I can't fly it. Mind you, I could still crash it because, again, you're seeing right here that my skill level is not amazing. But you can bounce that thing pretty. I've seen people bounce the Aero Scout as well as this one a lot in real life, and the landing gear is pretty sturdy. So I probably could still do a crash landing, and it won't be buttery smooth. It'll be something like this. But most likely I would get into safe and beginner mode, where, for instance, if I was to do this again, let's try this. Of course I get the pole. Of course I get the pole. If I was to fly the Aero Scout or this thing in real life and keep it in safe, let's see if I can humiliate myself once more, because of course it's funny. Of course it's funny. Let's hit that pole. No, we won't hit the pole. There we go. There we go. I could totally do it. Now, if I could aim in the correct direction that I wanted to go to, I could do it. It's funny, though. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a brain twister. You're going from the one mode to the other, and suddenly you are kind of used to the other mode, but then it feels easier in the other mode. So let's switch back to the other one. Get back in the air and turn. What? Okay, whatever. I must have pressed something with the wire or something, and it reset. Try that again. Life is all about trying it again, right? If at first you don't succeed, try again. But only in the simulator, because in real life, if you screw up, you are done for. Which is why people like video games. Because you are done for in real life. Again, depending on what you get. Like, for instance, this plane is pretty forgiving. I've seen a lot of people do stuff with this kind of plane, and it is pretty forgiving. Same as the Aero Scout is also very forgiving on the landings. So you can bounce this thing, and it won't just explode on you. But it is... I would like to be able to flare properly like an RC Sailor and get one of those nice smooth, but no. Not yet. We're not there yet. Let's try this one more time. Up. Again, if I was to fly my Aero Scout, I would fly it in safe, which is part of the reason why I don't particularly want to just put in my own electronics in there and start flying it, because I would prefer to be able to fly this thing for a long time. And since I don't really know what the problem is, I'm not going to go out and buy all the different bits and pieces, because I just can't afford it. I spent the last of my money on the Aero Scout, all the money that was given to me by some very nice investors, because I was planning to get serious with the whole, with the whole reviewing Aero Scout planes in Hobby Zone, in Horizon Hobby planes. I was getting serious with all that stuff. There we go. That was a pretty good landing. I'll take that anytime in experience mode. So I wasn't even in safe. That was pretty cool. Can I do it again, though? Because consistency is important. Well, I landed again over there, but not on the runway where I wanted to land it. So again, like this is why it's important when I shoot videos and I'm out at the field, or I'm shooting videos here, I will play the game. I will play the game of 8-ball, where I tell you exactly what I want to do before I do it, and then you guys can see it. So we play chess, and I say I'm going to put the rook on whatever square, or I will tell you that I will attempt to land on the runway and then land somewhere else. And then you know that I screwed up, because if I told you that I'm going to land on the runway and I don't, that's because I screwed up. So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to land on the runway, and there it is. I landed on the runway. Let's do it again. Oh, the brain. The brain is not in our friends. I didn't bring my favorite friend of all today. I should have brought my best friend. My one and only friend. I should have brought her. But I did not, because I was busy trying to get things flown. Get things flown in real life. Anyway, let's get a nice, it's pretty good landing, It was not on the runway where I wanted to, because apparently my skill level does not really allow for that. But at the very least, I did not crash the plane. It did not end up in smoke. There was no fire. There was no requirement of asking the fire brigade to come and help us out. But now there is. Okay, so we'll go to a challenge now. Can we do a challenge without it crashing? How about we do some grapple? I love grapple. There's only one level that we've never been able to pass, and that would be this one. So let's try it. Begin. This is the level to beat all levels. And the problem is you're trying to get balls. Well, there's a new commercial that goes, the one thing that I don't like is dropping balls and calls. Verizon. The one thing I don't like is dropping balls and calls. Can we get up in the air at all today? I think, okay, we got up in the air. That's better than some of the other times. But now, as you guys remember, this is a really difficult thing for me, because I don't know where the blue thing is, and although I can kind of see where it is, it's hard to aim and stay focused. There we go, lost it. Try it again. Most annoying part of this particular one is when you're trying to get this thing off the ground, you have to spin it for some reason, and then eventually it'll get off the ground. If you don't spin it, it won't leave the ground. And we did another live stream where I spent, I don't know, if maybe it was like 10-15 minutes just trying to figure out why it was not lifting off the ground. Apparently you need to spiral out of control, like what I've just did there at the very beginning of this this activity, in order to do that. So let's try this one more time. We need to get closer to the ball, and we need to be able to stay perfectly level in order to do that, but we can't even do that. So the helicopter should be perfectly level. Should be able to make a maneuver now where we move forward just enough, and we're trying to make a approach where we go slow and steady and forward, but now we are very low to the ground for some reason, and that reason is beyond what I can possibly imagine. So this is why this activity is clear to almost impossible. And part of the reason why that is because the viewport is all the way down to the right, instead of, for instance, in the middle of the screen. I don't know, can we move the viewport? Oh, that might help in the next one. Okay, that's cool. The viewport can be moved. So That might be a game changer. Let's try that. I did not know you could do that, but now we know. To the right was not helping me at all. In fact, it was just screwing me up in a big way, So now let's try this again. We can try to hover slower. The thing is in frame, and we pitched funny. Why did we pitch funny? I have no idea. This thing is absolutely out of control. I am trying to control it, but it is out of control. And we should be at the right height at this point. But can we get a ball? Oh. Oh, the network is forced off. Okay, keep spinning until it allows you to get off. Okay, we're off the ground gently. I don't know why it does that. We've got Jello on the camera. Jello on the camera, guys. Jello on the camera. Let's put the viewport in the middle again. That was helping somewhat. So up we go. And luckily there is no rain right now, whether it's in our friends or not. I don't know how the rain gets into people, but if a robot tells you that it gets in our friends, it gets in our friends. I'm not sure how it does it. Usually it would slide off the top of your skin. If we wanted to be scientific about it, when the rain falls, it tends to land on your skin first, and then it will sort of glide off the side. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the robot was thinking. I don't know what the robot was thinking, but maybe it was not in our friends either. Ugh. Can we get up there again? Can we get up there again? I hope so. I hope so. So let's go and try to get this again. Oof, one more time, and then if we can't, we're gonna do some shabouncing. Shabouncing is gonna be our favorite thing to do from now on, because we don't want to copy the Spanish. They came up with a shebang. We don't want to do that one. We're going to shabounce, because that's the new sport that we created, and that is where you try to sort of bounce a little bit right in front of the gate, so that you can aim into the gate. It slows down the quad just enough so that you can aim properly and get through the gate. Because sometimes if you just want to just fly right through the gate, it's too fast for beginners. And so, yay. Okay, we're going to go do some shabouncing. I don't think I'm ever going to beat that level. I did say that about a bunch of other things, but then this I probably will never beat for reals. For reals. We're not doing the limbo. We're going to do that other race. Was really fun. Was it this one? I think it was this one. I was starting to have a lot of fun with this one. But it was in the other one. And right now the computer is pretty hot, but it's kind of cold in the room, so it's still surviving. And we did put the graphics levels settings all the way to the bottom. But before we move on, squirrel. Squirrel. If you guys haven't had the most amazing vegan pancakes ever, then you guys can go check out the Little Pine in LA. There we go. And sometimes when life throws us lemons, we've got to be ballsy enough to get up or go nuts. And some people have gone nuts, but you know, it's okay. Always remember, perspective is something that is essential in our lives. Because when we start losing the plot, then we know we really lost it. We've really lost it. So I saw my grandma go through Alzheimer's disease, and that was something really difficult to watch. So you see this amazing, beautiful woman who spent so much time raising kids and everything, taking care of people, and then all of a sudden every 15 or 20 minutes or so, like she would start asking you the same questions over and over again. And that was something. I don't know how my mother did, how she was able to live with her and help her out through that until the day that she passed. But it is something. It is something. It is something difficult to deal with. So anyway, we do need to take care of our mental health. It is important, and sometimes, I mean, so long as we don't have something that severe, we can get out of that situation and get better and get better. Some people fall for drugs, which is a terrible thing too, and it can really upset and mess with our minds. Sometimes it's the medication that we take, the pain medication. This is why I do not take pain medication. A lot of people, well, they're forced to, but I've got pains in my neck and my shoulders and in my joints, all kinds of stuff. Some due to, just malformations. Some just due to bad posture. When back in school, I would spend too many hours sitting at a desk. Computer posture, carpal tunnels, you just name it. I've been through it. It's terrible. But the reason why I don't pop pills is because, like if you do that too much, it just messes with your liver, and then you have another problem to worry about. And so, if we can, we must try to gain perspective on what is going on in our lives. Anyway, let's go through here. Whew. And let's go through the next one. Oh, I was too close to the thing and destroyed myself. Too close to the thing and it destroyed myself. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're going to go through here. We're going to go through here and then through here. Life is short. And if you spend all of your life on drama, because there are some people in your life that you know, some people that you don't know, some people who just show up out of the blue and you're like, what the heck? And because they're feeling something in their lives, they just need to make everybody around them miserable. And that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good, healthy thing for anybody. But you know that they're just probably going through something. So a lot of the times, the hatred that you get towards you is really not about you. It's really not about you. And you might be an absolutely horrible person, conniving, pesky, whatever it is, which we all know that I am. But in some cases, people don't even know you, and they will just go off on you. So, things to ponder. For instance, there was a time when I was back in school, and there was this girl, and I thought for sure this girl really, really hates me, and what is going on with her, and why? What have I done to deserve this, or whatever it is? And sometimes it's because they have feelings for you, and sometimes it's just because they really hate you. You can have like gut feelings in your life and meet somebody and they just give you those vibes, and you just cannot get over how much that you just hate them. You don't know why. It's just something about them that just, and so it just is, it is what it is. It is what it is. A lot of, for instance, you'll notice that is people will do that at the office, for instance. When they're hiring people, they'll just get gut feelings about people, and then they might be completely wrong about them, and they just didn't choose to hire them because of that gut feeling. Some people are great at first impressions, and some people are really horrible at first impressions. And then there's people who are just, there's nothing you can do about it, right? And then there's other people who are just like trying to get your attention. And so, sometimes the better way to do things is to just say, you know what, I'm just going to use proper communication skills. There may be that boy at school or that girl at school who's totally annoying you, like big time. And if she just come up to you and say, hey, you know what, I kind of like you. You want to go have lunch together, sit together at lunch. I bet you that I would have said yes to that girl. Even if she'd spent the whole, like, 2 or 3 or whatever years that we were in school, like sort of bullying me and laughing at me or whatever. Maybe, again, maybe that was just the perspective that I had at the time. Maybe she wasn't doing that. Maybe she was just laughing with her friends, and I thought that she was totally having a laugh and it was all at my expense. So I might have thought that it was me bullying her, but in fact, it was all in my mind. Maybe she liked me, or maybe she didn't even notice I was there. She was just having a fun time with her friends, and just because I was such a self-conscious human being back in the day when I was in school. In fact, most people couldn't just come behind me and just talk to me or something. I would get spooked super easily. I went through that. That was not fun either. Growing up as a child, I got easily spooked. I bet it could even happen today, which is probably why, for instance, you should never walk behind a security guard or a police officer and go boo or something like that. Don't do that. Why? Because they're trained. And some people have their feelings. They wear their feelings on their sleeve, or they have feelings that are really high up on their motory system. So they will react very quickly. So if you show up and attack them or do something that may scare them, they may just pull out a gun and shoot you. People don't get that, but another thing that you don't want to do, no matter how cute or pretty a police officer is or a security guard is go out there and lean in and give them a hug for whatever reason you may think. Even if they're having a bad day, even if they look like they've got a frown on their face, do not get that close, because 1, you're not supposed to touch a police officer. It is against the law. And number 2, you don't know what they're going through in their mind at the time. And if they are doing their job, they will be in a different kind of mode. If you want to speak to a police officer, if you want to speak to anybody in law enforcement, or just when they're done with their duty, then that's probably the best way to do it. Or you can do it at a distance. Just like in COVID, keep a safe distance of like 6 feet away, and they are always very kind, and they will talk to you. Unless, of course, it's a family member or somebody that that you've known for a long time, in which case then it becomes safe or whatever. They know you, you know them, and then it's a different story. But just know these things, because people don't know these things, and then they just go out and they do stuff. They do stuff and then get themselves in trouble. So let's try not to get in trouble. This is why I make all these videos as well, like de-escalating, talking about things in your life that could make your life better. Just remember, it's not all about you. You are not the center of the world. The world is a big place, and sometimes you're going through things and you feel like it is all a conspiracy against you. And sometimes I'm bad, and in my videos I will do things. But again, please remember, guys, it is comedy. If it triggers you, if you don't like it, then there are plenty of other places you can go. But if it does entertain you, then please feel free to stay on and enjoy the journey. The shabouncing is not going very well today. It's just not. It is not. And I do apologize. Earlier I was doing laundry, so it was a little bit loud in the background. You could hear the which is what that is the precise sound, of course, 100%. The precise sound that dryers make when they dry clothes. 100%. 100%. Anyway, so here we go. Let's get back into the flight, the flighty flight, the flighty flight, the flighty flight. Can I get 2 rings in a row without? We're trying to do the shabounce thing, and it kind of does work. It slows the quad down just enough, but sometimes after that, then I crash the quad. So the shabouncing can help for beginners. If you are an expert, you're not going to need to shabounce, because shabouncing can lead to prop destruction. As you can see there, we had a catastrophic failure, just like in Forged in Fire, and then that was the end of that. That was the end of that. Anyway, anybody seen some fun shows? Any fun stuff that you've watched on Netflix? It'd be fun if you just left it in the comments if you feel like, because see, those are comments. Those are comments that I actually enjoy interacting with. Why are you such a fat vegan, and conspiracy theories, that I just don't particularly have interest in responding or being part of that. And sometimes it's funny because, like, when you're doing these live streams, you can't really take a look at, I mean, I'm not a gecko, I'm not a lizard, so I can't see what's on the screen and then what I'm seeing on the computer screen and then what's going on here. And like, my vision is trying at the very least, always pretty much concentrating on trying not to crash whatever I'm flying. So when you're doing that, and then suddenly you do kind of look across the screen and you do see something on the screen on here, on this screen, and there's a comment there, you don't have any idea of what's going on with the context of that comment. You might see something on there, like, for instance, somebody said, oh, you know what, yesterday I was just walking down the street and I twisted my ankle, so I don't have any context on what is going on back there. And I see a comment and I'm trying to be nice, so you say, oh, that sucks, and they think it's something else, which is like, are you serious now? Anyway, so again, no hard feelings. People go through whatever they're going through, and they might need some time to rethink what's going on in their lives, which is why I don't let bad comments that happen on the channel affect me in any way. But it is important to just keep calm, relaxed, and Tai Chi is a great thing that you can do. Some people like yoga, some people like Tai Chi. They have some really nice groups where you can just go and hang out. And they're very helpful because you can do meditation. You can learn how to move your body. It is a little bit like physical therapy in many cases. Yoga is not so much, because sometimes if you're doing some things and you end up in the wrong class, people may be too advanced and you just can't follow along. It's hard. With Tai Chi, it's easier. You can just sit on the side and just watch other people do it. And then slowly, when you feel comfortable, you can join in. You can join in. With yoga, especially if you're paying for classes, they're not free classes that you can do at a lake. Then you feel like, maybe you just can't get the stretches or the level of ability or whatever that you want out of the class. And it can be a little bit more daunting for some people, especially if they're suffering from some physical situation. But with Tai Chi, the good thing is whether you're in a wheelchair or whether you are standing or perfectly capable, you can do it. And I've done videos on that, and you guys can go check those out. So anyway, it is important to learn how to relax ourselves and to get out of our own heads sometimes, and to sometimes see people out of our bubble, social bubble. So it is important to do that sometimes in safety. So like coffee houses are great. Internet cafes are great. Sometimes libraries, so long as they're not too, like if the library is too empty, then, maybe stay around the librarians and stuff. You never know what's going to happen, right? You got to try to stay ahead of the game all the time and be safe. and possibly in areas where there's cameras all the time looking at you, so that there is always evidence that whatever you've been doing is safe and good. And that's part of the reason why sometimes I like to fly around on the lake and around people who are like cleaning the lake and stuff, because that also provides you the ability to have a spotter, for instance, somebody who's seeing what you're doing. And if anything happens to you, like for instance, if you have a heart condition or heart failure or whatever, or you just trip, fall in the lake and break your leg, and suddenly you might be all by yourself out there in the lake, you could scream to somebody who's cleaning the lake, and you're not alone. You're not alone, which is part of the reason why I'm sure people go around and walk around the lakes in Irvine, because there's always somebody there walking, whether they're playing tennis somewhere. So if you do have an accident of some kind, you can get the help that you need. Another option is, and Eli the computer guy said this in one of his videos, and I totally agree with that, is you can get yourself an Apple Watch or similar device, so that if your heart rate goes down below a certain amount or whatever, it tests you and knows you. So if you do have some issue, you can always call for help very, very, very quickly. It is something that more and more people are getting into, and people are just worried about tracking and a bunch of other things. But your personal safety sometimes is more important than tracking. As I said before, I put the tracking stuff on my phone and stuff, because if I fall and I'm trying to scrape myself off the ground like a Terminator when one of his legs was shot off, I want to know that I can reach the phone. I know that I want to be able to reach the phone, and at the very least turn it on and leave it running, so that 911 or a family member or someone, or there's people at a tennis court, or there's people cleaning around the lake, or whatever it is. Maybe people are just walking around, that there's somebody there who can lend a hand. So anyway, things to ponder. Have I gone too far yet? I've gone too far. 77 minutes. Yesterday we went all the way into 90 minutes, but we don't have to do that every time. Because I'm so tired, and I've got to do a bunch of editing, because I did take some videos this morning and I did not have a chance to upload them yet. So I'm going to cry like a man-child does when they have to do editing, which is a real bother. But I have to do it. It is part of the job, and we're going to do it. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that my little video here will help de-escalate anybody's having a rough time these days. I feel for you, and we've all been through it, and we've all go through it every day. Everybody has their own struggles. Mine are very physical. Other people's might be something else. Whatever it may be, I hope, wish you well, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, guys.